Dear Rental Scale-Up members, I'm now joined by Tyann, Marcink, Hammond. She's in Missouri right now, and we'll see with her very interesting points. First, she's a serial entrepreneur. She's been in industry for a few years. She's done a lot, and she has a lot to share. But what's very interesting to us today that she has two rental businesses in the same state, in the same U.S. state, and she will be telling us that actually those two businesses are faring differently. And she will tell us why. And that could be very interesting to you because depending on where your own properties are, you can identify your own business better to one or to the other of her businesses. And then we'll be talking about something great she's doing. She's actually hosting frontline workers, medical staff. So we'll see how that happens and why it's possible, why it's legal where she is. And we will then be talking about the future, what it's going to be like. Again, for one country to another, state to another, the situation is different, but some of the thinking behind the actions are the same. So wherever you are, that could be relevant to you. And last, we're talking about something that she's been doing, which is called To Guests with Love, which is an industry for the whole, an initiative for the whole vacation rental industry. And I think you'll be all very interested in hearing about this. So it's a long introduction because there's a lot to cover, but I'm very, Tyann, happy to have you over. And first, how are you?
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. We are doing very well. I hope everyone watching this is doing well and staying healthy and making good choices. Thank you so much for having me on. I am honored. I appreciate it. So I am sitting in Branson, Missouri. It is in my new place that I've been talking about for the past year, and some of you may have heard about it already. It's our new 10-bedroom house, and we are putting a slide in off the deck, and that's going to be our little unique selling point as well. And our business here in Branson, called Branson Family Retreats, is focused on the 3-generation families and family reunions. And our biggest thing is location. Branson is within a day's drive of half the population of the United States. So a lot of families and friends come here, and so the demand for large homes is quite high. In fact, people will book up to 2 years in advance, which is really, really great for cash flow and protecting of when situations like this happen. It takes a lot for these families to plan that far in advance because you're looking at, for instance, this house sleeps 32 people. Wow. And sometimes I'll get an inquiry of somebody coming with 100 people. So, in essence, as you know, it takes quite a bit of planning for that many people. If not, if you're used to a small family of one or two kids, and then you're 10 people total, and that might be large to you, but the perspective can get even larger. And I come from a large family, so it makes sense for us, besides being direct competition with my family and my parents having 1, 4, 5 houses in the same neighborhood as this one.
So you have Branson Family Retreats, which is one side of the business, and then you have this other part of the business. And what's very interesting here is that in terms of location, size, booking strategy, booking channels, and target markets, it's very different. And during this crisis, what happened, the stories are also very different. So that's fascinating to hear.
Yeah. So back near where we live, near St. Louis, Missouri, is our Missouri Haus brand of rentals. And Haus is the German spelling. Both my husband and I are from German descent. And I'm 6th generation in our county, which is really cool. My great-great-great-grandfather actually named one of the towns there, which is awesome. And so we have several properties we own, and then we also manage properties there too. So we have a total of 7 properties, and they're all standalone houses. We don't have any condos or complexes or anything like that. These are single family homes, and they range from a tiny house to my 1900 bank that I purchased and rehabbed into a 4-bedroom vacation rental. So we've got that quite a bit of range. And these guests are coming for family reasons a lot, but mainly for events. So it would be weddings, it would be graduations, and then also we have the Purina Event Center just a few minutes down the road. And everybody might recognize the name Purina from Purina Foods. And so they're based out of St. Louis, Missouri, and their event center is just west where we are. So they hold dog shows almost year round, and we attract people from all over the country and even internationally as well. What's really great is Purina actually schedules a lot of events 5 years in advance. So when all of this started coming in, my Missouri Haus Rentals, a lot of them were canceled. If they were weddings or graduations, things like that, people weren't sure were going to happen again or would be rescheduled or when or anything like that. But because of the dog shows, those folks have rescheduled for next year, which is really nice. And they've been able to immediately reschedule as well because they knew their dates. And then contrasting that to Branson, those folks, because they do plan far in advance, and this is their vacation. It's not just an event they're traveling to. This is their vacation that they've saved up and planned for. They don't want to let go of it at all. I even had somebody who was supposed to arrive this weekend. They waited until a week before, just crossing their fingers, hoping that they'd be able to come. Eventually they realized it would not work. So they rescheduled. And because of my booking strategy, the majority of the Branson folks, they've rescheduled later in the year or immediately picked a week next year. Whereas Missouri Haus took on a lot of cancellations besides the rescheduling. So do you want me to talk about my booking strategy?
Yeah, Tyann, I was about to ask you because it's like, why in one case did people rebook? I mean, are we talking about here about some direct booking? Are we talking about some channels? Yes, very curious to hear more about this.
So in Branson, it's mainly direct bookings and Vrbo. And the reason I think a lot of people do that, I'm able to get a lot of direct bookings, is because I've branded myself. I've really pushed the branding. And when you're talking high numbers, because a week can be 3,000 to 9,000 a week at my places. And when guests see those service fees, they get scared. Think about the service fees on that amount of money. So being able to really brand myself and do it in a respectable manner of being on a platform, I don't want to break rules, but I do want to make sure people know they're booking with me and not just on a platform. So a lot of people will come find me, and it's an easy Google search to find me. One of the things is you can actually Google my first name, and I appear on page 1 of Google search, which is really cool when you have a unique name. So the Branson houses, as far as Airbnb goes, I use Airbnb very little for those places. One is I don't like how long they hold my money. It's my money that my guests have paid. And I only open those calendars within 30 days of arrival. So I'm only backfilling on those dates. The thing is, these people, they will book up to 2 years in advance. So, having the platform hold my money for 2 years is not good for me. And I don't have that control over the booking, and therefore I want control of the entire guest relationship, because the guest experience from beginning to end is extremely important to me, and why people come back and they talk about us and our places. They don't necessarily talk about the booking platform that they found us on. That's the key, is I want them to talk about us as a company.
If I may add something here. So it's very interesting in a way, because you are talking about advanced payout and how important it is because it's a cash credit crunch, right? A cash issue for a lot of companies right now, right? And if I understand correctly, it means that you already had in place policies that make sure that if they were like booking made really, very early in advance, you would get that cash on your own bank account, and hopefully from a platform, or either direct booking or from a platform that will not be able to get that money back. Because that's something that happened in a lot of cases that we heard hosts or partners, depending, or depending how we call these vacation rental owners on platforms, basically the money never arrived or got refunded. And so that's interesting as well. And so to note as well that even I think Verbo and Booking.com and Airbnb all changed the way events paid out are now. So um, it's actually, I think even on Verbo now, it's actually going to be for them in the coming months, it's going to be very tricky to have money before the check-in. So it's, that these events payout is a key issue, and we're very happy you underlined it. And also what you mentioned as well is the branding, your own branding. Of course, you are expert into this, in the branding and how people should basically, I guess, use the same name over and over again on different platforms so they can find you and have either a unique name for a property or a unique name. If you have yourself a unique name, it's very helping. That's two interesting points you gave us.
Yeah, the other thing we did to very much save those large bookings is I went ahead and I contacted every single guest with a personal email ahead of time and said, okay, this is our plan of what's going to happen. And I gave them a choice, what they wanted to do. And then I posted this same letter publicly on my website. In case they lost the email, they could go to my website, they could go to my frequently asked questions, they could go to that page. And then I also put it in our digital guidebook as well. So making sure I cover all my communication channels before they ask the question and to give them a choice. Now, I made sure the choices I gave them were beneficial to our business and our family, as well as beneficial to them. And by giving them that choice, I have not had any hard feelings or backlash or anything when I tell them, there is no refund during this period of time. For instance, for everybody in April and March, we said, okay, if you want to, cancel and take a refund, we're going to give you a whole refund. There will not be any cancellation fees or nothing because of this. And then July, August, September, these are your choices. You can cancel according to cancellation policies, or you can change your dates or have a travel credit for future without any extra fees. But there's not a full refund. By communicating that before they've asked and sitting there wondering what's going to happen, I think that has been a huge benefit to us. Because when you take control out of people's hands and they don't know what's going to happen, they're in limbo, they get anxiety and fear. So instead, we've done our best to give them control of the situation. For instance, we've even one guest that called 2 days ago about their July reservation. I said, we don't want you to have to make a decision right now. We require their balance paid 90 days before arrival, which is coming up soon. And I said, let's make it 60 days. Let me reschedule your final payment. It's not a big deal, and give you guys more time. That way they don't feel pressured, they don't feel anxious, and they feel like they have control of the situation. Yet we're also keeping our business intact and giving a good guest experience.
That's also great to hear. Being proactive in communication, and sometimes even try to reach out to the guests before the platforms do, so your bookings are out of whatever policy they're gonna apply or make up on the fly, is also something very useful. So we talked about the differences between your two businesses, but what's the demand like right now? Is there any new demand? And I think I'm thinking specifically at frontline workers, and because I know you've been very active into this, I think that's just, again, a very interesting example on how we can help out and still get our business going.
Yeah. So the Branson houses, no, they're closed. We're not having any guests there. Missouri House, because of the size of them, they're small. They're located next to hospitals. And so we immediately put out there on the new headlines, descriptions on our website, sharing in Facebook groups, contacting my local realtors, my network of people, and let them know, hey, we are available. We will give a discounted rate to healthcare workers. And make that available, because we suddenly had empty calendars. All these events are canceled or rescheduled. And what happened is people did find us, and they were so thankful. The one gal, and what I found too, it's the spouses or significant others of the healthcare workers that are doing the reaching out. So if you're a type of person that wants only that person to book with you and to communicate with you, well, forget about it. They're busy. I mean, they're focused on helping other people. It's their spouse or significant other or family member who's doing this research for them. So open up talking to them instead. The one gal, she told me, she goes, our daughter's immunocompromised. My husband is working at the hospital every day. And we know several people who've had to pitch tents in their garage to keep their families safe. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like, yes, of course, we will give you an extremely deep discount. Let him come stay. He's got, he's less than a mile from the hospital, and he can make sure that he is keeping his family safe while working for our community.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I think you even got coverage in the local press for that, right?
I did, yeah. Rent Responsibly did an article, and then 2 days ago, the local news station called me, and they were able to talk to one of my guests. They were willing to do an interview as well. So we'll see if that, they always make stories, but not everything is published. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but it's I think it's good. It's also being noticed here, so that's right now. So helping out or seeing that there's actually people who need to stay somewhere. Of course, it's hard to predict the future, but what do you see, or basically, how are you adapting to maybe the rebound or how things are going? Because I think your state is very special when it comes to the U.S.
Yeah, we're our state lets you do a lot of things. we are lodging is deemed essential, so we were never told to close or anything like that. So we have the state, and then we have a county, and then we have each town or city. So each of those levels can make different rules. So in the county that I'm in, our commissioner, he has said, hey, you guys use your common sense, wash your hands, use social distancing, but you need to take care of your families and business. So if you feel you can operate within the sanitation and social distancing guidelines, then please do. Except, there's some things that were closed down, such as hairstylists and tattoo artists and things like that, where you can't be a social distancing. You have to be next to each other type thing. But otherwise, most things were told common sense. And they're actually opening up Friday, the 24th, April 24th, in phases. So the first thing that's going to open is they're letting the movie theaters and the bowling alleys open. And there was something else too. I don't remember. And we've gotten a lot of backlash to our county because of that. But the thing to remember is whoever starts to open first, it doesn't mean you have to go there. They don't force you to leave your house and go. You can still social distancing, make your own choices, use common sense and that type of thing. As far as future bookings, I'm being patient. I think once we hit that turning point of people feeling comfortable to travel again, it's going to hit in force. And we're an hour outside of St. Louis. So we're that perfect driving distance to get away. Our wineries are all right here. They're doing curbside pickup for wine and different meals. So you can still have that bit of a winery experience and then bring it back to my vacation rental, so you can still enjoy that area, still enjoy all our unique food in the area. I expect that to really hit. And at that point, we'll be ready. We've got extra cleaning procedures in place, and we have cleaners who are willing to do that. I know not all cleaners are willing to work during this time, which is perfectly fine too. There's no reason to shame anyone who's doing that. Everybody's got their reasons and their comfort level, and let them do that for sure.
That's great to hear how you're adapting and how as well being in a drive to destination is amazing, right? Because you can imagine people want to get away, or maybe people who want to reunite after this. You haven't seen friends and family for a while. Again, you have the perfect place for that, for people all around your location. And I don't want to leave without having you talk about to guests with love. It's something we've talked about on the Rental Skill Up website, in the Facebook group, and I think some members have joined it. But for those who don't know what that is, can you tell us more?
So Two Guests with Love is an industry collaboration project. It's spearheaded by two competitors, TouchStay and Hostfully, both digital guidebook platforms. So it's really cool seeing two direct competitors come together to create a collaborations. And I'm really thankful as a community ambassador of TouchStay to be a part of this. And so both of us have been working together to create a unique standalone website and have as many supporters as possible. We want everyone to support. We have well over 100 supporters with logos and links back to your website. And then we have excess of over 100 videos submitted so far. And the deadline was supposed to be yesterday, but we've extended it to Monday. And this weekend I'll start downloading the videos because it's my job to put them all together.
Wow.
So I'll be going into hibernation for a little bit next week to get all these videos together. And we just decided on our music, which is an original song by a friend of David Jacoby's at Hostfully. So he reached out to a friend and we've gotten permission to use this original song. And so it's going to be uplifting, upbeat, super fun, and we want everybody to join in together. So if you've got a shirt that has your brand name on it, make a little video. It can be anything. It can simply just be walking through the room. And we need a few straight man videos anyway, or you can do something crazy. Before this project happened, I caught my husband doing a peanut butter dance, so that probably make its way into the video as well. So anything crazy, anything straight man, not perfect. It does not have to be perfect. It can be.
I go, I film it, and I'm upload it. So we put the links below the video to make it easy.
Yeah.
So you're going to download my video or the video from my rental. I've taken this video maybe with me, with my staff, and what's going to happen? They're all going to be pulled together to create one big video, and then we'll share this online.
Yes, we'll share it online, and the purpose is to let guests know we are responsibly and patiently waiting for them to return, and this is what we're doing. We're preparing for them, we're having fun, we're making sure things are ready for them, and we want to welcome them back with love and open arms.
Nice, that's great to hear. So once again, I will put the links below, so do participate. If you're watching the conference this weekend, this Saturday, obviously you still have time. So if you can go to your rentals on Sunday, just do that. Tyann, thanks a lot for your time today. I really appreciate that. It was, we covered two businesses, not just one. We covered frontline workers. We talked about how to adapt for the future and being very flexible, actually, to whatever comes. And as well, we talked about Two Guests with Love, which is a great initiative people should be part of. So thanks again for your time. And I hope to see you in person very soon.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I've got enough United Airline miles to get 2 tickets to Europe, and my husband and I are just, we want to get over there and see everybody.
Yeah. So I see you very soon then.
Okay.
Thanks.